Happy morning, dear students. Today's topic is pulmonary stenosis. This condition comes under the acyanotic heart disease. Okay, these are the conditions are left to right shunt conditions. Previous session we discussed increased pulmonary blood flow. Now we discussed obstruction of the blood flow. Okay, previous class we discussed acyanotic aortic stenosis. Now we will discuss about the pulmonary stenosis. Okay, today's what is pulmonary stenosis? First we will know about the parts of the heart. This is the right atrium, this is the left atrium, this is the right ventricle, this is the left ventricle. From the right ventricle, the pulmonary artery is moving. Okay, here the branches also is divided from the pulmonary artery. What happened here? The pulmonary stenosis means here the narrowing of the pulmonary artery. The deoxygenated blood, where the ventricle contraction is there, this deoxygenated blood may enter into the pulmonary artery and may enter into the divided into two branches and enter into the lungs. Their purification will be done. But what happened in this condition, pulmonary stenosis, there is a narrowing of the pulmonary artery. So the purification was not done properly. Okay. Here, what is pulmonary stenosis? Narrowing of the entrance of the pulmonary artery. Here, the entrance of the pulmonary artery, some narrowing is there. Here, the types also is there. We will discuss later. Okay. This is about the pulmonary stenosis. Nothing is there. This pulmonary stenosis, it is an acyanotic condition. Under that, obstruction to the blood flow conditions. Okay. Pulmonary stenosis, it is a narrowing of the pulmonary artery. Okay. Coming to the introduction, pulmonary valve stenosis is a condition in which a deformity on or near the pulmonary valve narrows the pulmonary valve opening and slow the blood flow. Here the pulmonary valve is having narrow and then opening is very short, and then the narrowing, because of that the blood flow through the pulmonary artery, it is very slow. The pulmonary valve is located between the lower right heart chamber, that is right ventricle, and the pulmonary arteries. Okay, here where it is located means this pulmonary artery means here the lower right ventricle. Okay, here this pulmonary artery is located. Here when the ventricle contraction is there, this whatever the deoxygenated blood may enter into the pulmonary artery and goes into the lungs. Their purification will be done. But in this condition, because of narrowing, okay, because of the stenosis, pulmonary stenosis, what happened? The blood flow will not be move properly. The blood flow is very slow to the pulmonary artery. So this is about the introduction. Here the obstruction of the flow can occur in the three levels. This condition comes under the obstruction to the blood flow conditions. No, this pulmonary stenosis. Here the total three levels it is there. The first level is subvalvular stenosis and valvular or supravalvular stenosis is there. Okay, what is subvalvular stenosis means? Look at here in this image. Here the valve is there. This pulmonary artery valve, where the right ring form it is there, no? This valve. What happened here? The subvalvular means below the valve. Here the narrowing is there, obstruction is there. That is subvalvular. Valvular means at the level of the valve, where the moving, that closing and then moving it is there, no? Opening and then closing. There the valvular area, the obstruction, the narrowing is there. And supravalvular means above that part. Okay, so here that part, the obstruction, that is narrowing or stenosis is there in the pulmonary artery. These are the three types of three levels of obstruction to blood flow we will see. Okay, this is look at here what happened. This is the pulmonary stenosis condition. Here it is a narrowing is there. This is the normal valve, how the opening will be there, okay, is there. Here the narrowing is there because of some stenosis or some obstruction, the valve is having narrowing or stenosis. Okay, the most common cause of right ventricular outflow tract obstruction is pulmonary valve stenosis. Pulmonary stenosis accounts for 8% to 12% of congenital heart diseases. Okay, here how much this pulmonary stenosis is having means the percentage is 8 to 12% of all congenital cases. It is this condition is present. But here why the right ventricular outflow or obstruction is means because of pulmonary narrowing or pulmonary stenosis. This obstruction is the right ventricular. Whenever any child is suffering with the right ventricular obstruction means that time we will easily identify that condition is pulmonary stenosis. Okay, all of you clear? Coming to the pathophysiology and the etiology of pulmonary stenosis. Here the critical pulmonary stenosis in the neonates, the blood flow into the right atrium across the patent foramen oven, that is PFO, into the left heart. That is the normally it is moving. Okay, here the pulmonary blood flow comes from the left to right shunt through a patent ductus arteriosus. Here the some arteriosus is having patent ductus arteriosus. Here the opening, the narrowing is there. So here the pulmonary blood flow comes from the left to right shunt through that patent ductus arteriosus. In the neonates it is happening. Because of that, what happened? Child is suffering with the cyanosis. Okay, along with that, the right ventricular pressure is increased in the pump blood across the obstructive pulmonary valve. So here the right ventricular blood flow is obstruction in that blood flow across the obstructive pulmonary valve. So here the right ventricular hypertrophy develops in response to the increased pressure gradient across the pulmonary valve. So here the right ventricle is having the pressure, more pressure is there. Because of that, right ventricular hypertrophy is there. Okay, next, signs of right side heart failure including hepatic congestion, neck vein distension, elevated central venous pressure. CVP pressure also is increased. So these are the signs we will see in this pulmonary stenosis condition. What are the signs we will identify? Here the right side of the heart failure is there. Because of that, overload of the right ventricular blood pressure, because the narrowing of the pulmonary artery, the right ventricular blood pressure is increased. So the congestion, hepatic congestion is there, neck vein distension and elevated central venous pressure also is increased. This is about the pathophysiology of pulmonary stenosis. Okay, next coming to the clinical manifestations. Here the clinical manifestations are critical pulmonary stenosis in the neonates. Mostly we will see in the hypoxia. Why this hypoxia is there? Because the deoxygenated blood was not purifying properly. So the right ventricular hypertrophy is there. So normal oxygenated blood was not there in that baby's blood circulation. So hypoxia is there, and tachypnea, right ventricular failure, and mild to moderate pulmonary stenosis in child and then adolescent. Sometimes it is asymptomatic conditions is there in the child and then adolescent age. But in neonates, hypoxia, tachypnea and right ventricular failure we will see. Okay, and then decreased exercise tolerance, fatigue, dyspnea and then chest pain is there in this pulmonary stenosis clinical manifestations. Okay, all of you clear? And next one is the physical signs. What are the physical signs is there in the pulmonary stenosis is means ejection systolic murmurs over the pulmonary area that radiate to the back. Here the murmurs, whenever we are auscultating, the murmurs is radiating pulmonary area that radiating to the back side of the shoulder. Okay, the systolic thrill over the pulmonary area we will feel. The thrill is there, the systolic thrill. The thrill whenever the filled water balloon we are tapping, no, that time one thrill is there. Okay, the waves, that systolic thrill over the pulmonary area we will see. Okay, as to wide splitting also is there whenever we are checking the ECG. Okay, and then left parasternal heavy, that is the right ventricular hypertrophy. Because of right ventricular hypertrophy, left side of the parasternal is having heaviness, and ejection click, that audible in the inspiration. Whenever baby is taking respiration, okay, inspiration, that time ejection click that is audible with the auscultation, with the stethoscope. Okay, these are the physical signs we are seeing. Okay, look at this image. Whenever we are auscultating, here the aortic area, this is right side of the sternal border area. Okay, and then this is a pulmonary area. Here the bulging of the neck veins, the thrill also we will be feel. Okay, these are the clinical features is there in the pulmonary stenosis. Okay, coming to the diagnostic evaluations, whenever we are auscultating, the systolic ejection murmurs hard best at the left upper sternal border. Okay, left side of the upper sternal border we will see the ejaculation click is there. Okay, here why this is there means because the right side of the ventricle, right ventricle where it is there, left side of the sternal border is there. So here the easily we will identify the left upper sternal border, the murmurs we will be heard. Okay, if it is mild pulmonary stenosis, that time we will normal x-ray and then ECG is there. Okay, mild, the narrowing part is very mild, that time it cannot be ruled out under the x-ray and then ECG. If it is severe pulmonary stenosis, the x-ray it shows that normal or post stenotic dilatation of the main pulmonary artery is there. Whenever we are checking the ECG electrocardiogram, that time right ventricular hypertrophy we will see. Okay, and coming to the management, here it indicates for moderate to severe cases the treatment measures designed to maintain the patency of the ductus arteriosus and used as palliative measure to maintain or increase pulmonary blood flow in infants with severe pulmonary stenosis. Okay, the main management is transcatheter balloon dilatation is the treatment of the choice for the pulmonary stenosis. For all obstructive cases, the main management is ballonoplasty or balloon dilatation and balloon valvotomy. These are the surgical management for the obstructive lesions. Okay, previous session also we discussed aortic stenosis. That time that condition also is the surgical intervention is balloon valvotomy and then balloon dilatation. Okay, here the pulmonary stenosis, the surgical intervention is the choice of surgical intervention is balloon dilatation. Look at this image. This catheter, this is the catheter before inserting, before dilating that balloon. Here it is like this. Whenever we are inserting the pulmonary artery area, okay, look at this. Here the pulmonary artery area, they are infiltrate that catheter. So this is the way the bulging of the balloon is there. So that where that narrowing part is there the this balloon is dilated and then the narrowed part should be widened. Okay, this is the management for the surgical intervention for the pulmonary stenosis. All of you clear? Okay, coming to the child and then adolescent with the pulmonary stenosis, the medical management. What is the medical management is needed for the previous neonates we are discussing? Here the child and then adolescent with the pulmonary stenosis, medical management is close follow-up to monitor and then record right ventricular to pulmonary artery gradient and assess the right ventricular function. Here we are checking for the how for the right ventricular functions is there, how much the dumping of the deoxygenated blood is there in that right ventricle, how much the narrowing is there, any right ventricular hypertrophy or right ventricular failure is there, everything you should check. And restrict the stenosis exercise, restrict the strenuous exercises and participation in the competitive sports, because the child and the adolescent is there, no, they are participate with the sports and the other activities, physical activities. So those children who are having this pulmonary stenosis, to restrict the strenuous exercises and then the competitive sports also we should be restricted. And here that child is suffering with the infective endocarditis, so you should administer the prophylactic treatment for this infective carditis children. The lifelong management is needed for those children. and then refer for the intervention with the right ventricular pressure is greater than the two-thirds of systemic pressure. Every time you should monitor how far the right ventricular pressure is there. Always it should be greater than the two-thirds of the systemic pressure is there. So always we should check for the right ventricular pressure, because this is the medical management. No, if any time we should not manage properly, that time some severe complications will be there. Hypoxia and then sudden death also is there, so you should monitor, because they are adolescent and childhood, no, so it is easily manageable. They are expressive people, children. The medical management is that. And next, coming to the, if it is severe conditions, that children and adolescents, the balloon pulmonary valvoplasty in the cardiac catheterization laboratory they are doing. Okay, you have seen, no, that balloon catheter. Okay, so you should use that balloon pulmonary valvoplasty under the cardiac catheterization laboratory should be done that procedure. Okay, for the pulmonary stenosis. Coming to the surgical intervention, the surgical intervention is valvotomy or valvectomy. Okay, otomy means here the valve is open. Here the valvectomy is they are removing that part, and then they are anastomosis that part. For the dysplastic pulmonary valve, they are doing this valvotomy and then valvectomy. And next surgical intervention is patch repair for right ventricular outflow tract. Here they are using some patch. Okay, they are repairing for that. And next surgical intervention is placement of right ventricle to pulmonary artery conduit. Here the conduit. They are doing the surgical intervention. Okay, from right ventricular to the pulmonary artery. And then ballonoplasty also they are doing. Okay, this is the cardiac ballonodilatation valvotomy is they are doing. Okay, with under the cardiac catheterization. This is the surgical intervention. All of you clear? And coming to the complications of pulmonary stenosis is mostly cyanosis. But we are discussing acyanotic conditions. Why this cyanosis is there means in the critical pulmonary stenosis in the neonates, they are having stenosis because the left ventricular blood is more, because the narrowing is there, dilatation is there, automatically it is moving to the right ventricle, right atrium, and then it may transfer the foramen oven. Okay, because in the neonates the foramen oven is open, no, so sometimes it is not closed. Through that it may enter into the left atrium, and there the cyanosis is there. Because of that, it is a mixing of the oxygenated and then deoxygenated blood. So what happened here, the cyanosis is there. In this condition, obstructive lesion right to left shunt is there. So in this condition, cyanosis also is there, one of the clinical features. Please remember this. And next complication is arrhythmia. Okay, here the heart rate is very rapid or slow is there. So whenever we are checking the ECG, the arrhythmiasis is there. And then sometimes because of decreased oxygen supply to the brain and then blood circulation, what happened, sudden death also is there, because there is no purification is there, deoxygenated blood. What happened here, the hypoxia is there, and then sudden death also will be there in this pulmonary stenosis conditions. And next one is infective endocarditis. What is infective endocarditis? Because of this congenital malformations, some infections is present with that heart muscles. That is bacterial infections and then fungal infections. For that it is because of that also child is suffering with cardiac problems and then infections. And next finally right ventricular hypertrophy and right ventricular failure is there, because the everything is dumping in the right ventricle. What happened, the outflow will not be there, so it is accumulated in the right ventricular hypertrophy, and finally right ventricular failure is there. These are the complications of the pulmonary stenosis. This pulmonary stenosis comes under the obstruction to the blood flow condition. Okay, this is the left to right shunt, but in this condition also a child is suffered with the cyanosis. Okay, the surgical intervention of this this pulmonary stenosis is what it is, ballonoplasty is there or balloon valvotomy they are doing. Okay, and then medical management, mostly they are giving the prophylaxis for the long term complications. So that is prophylaxis management is for the prostaglandins and then diuretics they are using for this medical management. Okay, this is about the pulmonary stenosis. All of you clear?